Welcome to the Lovestead. Hi friends, welcome to the vlog. Today is Tuesday, March 21st. I've had the past few days off of work and you saw some footage from yesterday. I took Maggie in for a groom and then I went to Barnes & Noble and there were two books that I wanted to buy, but I restrained myself and I just bought the one that I knew my library didn't have. So I bought My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. That is a literary fiction. It's a subgenre of literary fiction that I'm obsessed with called sad girl lit fic. I just love it. I love sad girl lit fic. Love it. After Barnes & Noble, I went out to the barn, did some work with the horses, then I picked Maggie up from the groomer. And then I came home and worked on homework. So if you're new here, I am trying to get into a PhD program. And in preparation for that, I'm doing several certificate programs. And my dad passed in October, so I kind of got a little bit behind on things. And I have been working to catch up. So I did some homework last night. I watched some TV. Anyway, it's Tuesday evening. It is 9:52 p.m. Today, I literally just did some like journaling and some planning. I'm actually going to get logged into work here before I go to bed just to plan out my schedule for the week and that kind of thing since I had yesterday and today off. And I am working on editing, editing some past vlog footage and planning out some upcoming videos I need to shoot this week and upload and all of that yet. It's the 21st. I still need to do my February wrap up. So hopefully I get that up before I do my April TBR. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So that's kind of what I've been up to today. I had Panera for dinner and it made me feel like really bloated and gross. So I'm drinking some turmeric tea. This is the traditional medicinal brand. I love this tea. And it has a quote on it. It says, "How strange that nature does not knock and yet does not intrude." For reading, at the barn today when I was doing chores, I actually finished my audiobook, which was Spare by Prince Harry. If you're new here, you may not know, I'm kind of an armchair royal historian. I love royal history, and I've been following all the scandal that's come out about Meghan and Harry as of late. And it's always hard to know what is what when it comes to the royals, because the truth is always so closely guarded. Because of how ancient the institution is and how powerful the institution is. So there's no way to know for sure who's telling the truth about what. And I always go into any kind of royal article, memoir, study, whatever, knowing that probably are just few glimpses of truth in what they're sharing in the work. So I did go into Spare, keeping that in mind, that well, we're never really gonna know if what they're telling us is true versus not true versus whatever. And it's also one side of the story of what's currently going on with this supposed rift that's happening. And I would say it goes beyond being a supposed rift because of the way they've been stripped of their titles and their duties. So like that's hard evidence that there's something going on. Everything else is speculation. But oh, it's fun to speculate about, isn't it? What I found interesting about this was how closely it stuck to the story that they told in the Oprah interview. They're really doubling down on this very consistent narrative of what happened to them and what their side of the story is. I have to wonder how much Meghan had to do with this book, because she did most of the talking in the Oprah interview. And the section from where he met Meghan to the end was Meghan's Oprah interview. You know, it was her story that she told in the Oprah interview. It was those exact same stories, even down to some of the same language. And I'm not saying that she had anything to do with writing it, but I'm just wondering like how heavily she influenced the production of this book. And again, it's all speculation. We'll never ever really know the truth about any of it, about any of them. It's just not gonna happen. So we just, you know, weave stories about them and enjoy the intrigue and enjoy the speculation. And there's very little like hard evidence to work with that explains anything, you know. So I gave it 4 stars though, because it was a well-written, entertaining read. On ebook, I'm reading The Drift by CJ Tudor. This is for the Midnight Society Book Club for their March pick. That book club is run by Elizabeth at Reading Wryly, and it focused primarily on like horror, thriller, and stories that have really dark themes. And this is definitely dark. So the basic premise of this is the story's playing out in 3 different settings, but they're all on the same timeline. So in the first setting, it's a group of university students and they're on a bus, and the bus crashes and they all wake up and none of them really remember the crash, and some of them are dead. And they've found that all of the stuff that they need to survive a bus crash have been left off the bus or fiddled with in some way. Like the emergency exit is jammed, the first aid kit's not there, just all the stuff that you'd need that's usually on a bus for situations like this is not there. So they are stuck in this bus the way it fell onto the road. You know, the door to get out is on the ground. There's snow coming in. It's set, all of these settings are like on a mountain in the snow. So it's a very snowy setting. So on this bus, they can't get out the door, and all the tools that they would need to break a window are missing. So they're stuck on a bus. They don't know how long they'll be stuck there. It's cold. They don't have food. They don't have, you know, water. So it's kind of a dire situation there. The next setting is at this place called the Retreat, and it's this isolated setting in the mountain, and it's where a lot of these people are headed to. So I'm pretty sure that the university students bus was headed to the Retreat. Okay, so the Retreat is like a building, and there's like 5 people that live there, and they're up in the mountains isolated. There's something weird going on in the basement. We don't really know what it is. But we do know that if the power goes out, they've got about 6 seconds before, for the generator to kick in before everything automatically locks down. And they're having some trouble with the generator. And it's like the generator is lagging, and it's getting closer and closer to like the 6 or 8 second mark or whatever it is where they would be locked in at the Retreat. So that's tense and scary. And then the third setting is this group of people, they're on a cable car. You know, like the cable cars that go really high up in the mountain, and like they're like up in the sky. Not a ski lift, but a cable car. So like there's this group of people in the cable car. And they wake up, they've clearly been drugged. They wake up, they don't know how they got in this cable car. The cable car is stopped, and they're stuck, and they also don't have food or water, very little warmth to protect them from the blizzard that's happening. So now they're having to figure out what the heck they do in this situation. And somehow these 3 settings are connected, and they're going to converge at the end. Like that's where this is headed. Like the people in the cable car were also headed to the Retreat. The people on the bus were headed to the Retreat, and the people at the retreat may be locked in at the Retreat. Now, the underlying plot that's being threaded through each of these scenarios is that there's a virus, and the virus is super contagious and super deadly. And so the Retreat was created as a way to manage this virus. That's a very long way of explaining the premise of this book, but it is so good. It's so good. It is terrifying. Oh man, I am a little bit claustrophobic. Not in that I hate small spaces. Small spaces don't bother me, but what bothers me is being trapped somewhere without having an exit. So these scenarios where people are trapped in a cable car and trapped in a bus, they're just so scary to me. Like terrifying. And so far there's been some pretty good like gore and body horror in it as well. And I'm so curious to see how all of this is going to end up connecting together. The other book that I'm reading is the big book that I'm reading, which is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is a young adult fantasy dark academia story about a girl who goes to early admittance college, or early acceptance college at North Carolina, and discovers that demons are real and magic is real, and joins a secret society. And I'm about 100 pages in, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. So tonight I will probably gonna finish editing this video, get my calendar set up for the week, and then read. Pie's right next to the camera, so you might hear her purring. If you are a jelly bean kind of person, tell me what your favorite jelly beans are in the comments down below. I generally go for the Starburst jelly beans, but I have been known to enjoy some Jelly Belly jelly beans. Let me know what your faves are. Hi friends, it is Wednesday and I've been at work all day. It is about 3 p.m. and I'm getting ready to take a lunch break to go run some errands and take care of some things for my dad's estate. I'm gonna pop in and see the chickens. But before I head out for that, I wanted to give you just a quick update on reading. I didn't read last night, but I did pick out my next audiobook, which is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. And this is a literary fiction about a bank robbery, and that's all that I know about it. In a previous vlog, you saw me get a Venus flytrap as a memorial to my dad, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So I ordered another one that's a little bit more mature than the one I have, and it came in the mail today. So we're going to do a little unboxing. The outer layer is unwrapped, so here's what the next layer looks like. Here's the next layer. It's just a box. It doesn't appear to have any writing or anything on it. This is what was in the box. So this little thing here looks like some care instructions. And then the actual plant appears to be right here. So let me read the care instructions. All right, this is the instructions for how I'm supposed to put this together. Wish me luck. Okay, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So there's the plant. I need to go put it in some distilled water now. So I'm going to go do that. The 95th Academy Awards was won for the book. Hi, it is Thursday, and I'm not feeling great today. I'm just super wiped out, so kind of taking it easy today. I got groceries this morning. Yesterday I did a lot of errands. I, took care of the chickens and ran around to several different places, taking care of some stuff for my father's estate. And then when I got home, I had dinner and I taught class, and then I read for a while. And I read 50% of The Drift by C.J. Tudor, and I'm still really loving that book. I don't really have anything more to say than what I did earlier. Other than it's still pretty creepy and really enjoying it, and still, like, I haven't really figured out what is going on yet. So I'm curious to see how all of these scenarios in this book converge. And then I started Anxious People, and I listened to that while I was making dinner, while I was doing some chores, when I was folding laundry yesterday, and I got about 25% of the way through Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. And I'm obsessed with it. The character work is superb. So it is about a bank robbery gone wrong, where it turns into sort of a hostage situation. And now it's after the fact, and people are interviewing the hostages, and we're kind of getting to know, at least so far, one of them named Zara. And I absolutely am obsessed with Zara. I want to be Zara when I grow up. She is just the snarkiest, take no shit kind of person, and I think she's a very interesting character. Frederick Bachman does characters really well, so I'm enjoying that. Tonight, yeah, like I said, today I haven't been feeling great, so I've been kind of rotating between working and then laying down for a bit, and then working and then laying down for a bit. I did go out and get groceries this morning. I just do grocery pickup. I order it all online and then I just pick it up, and save me a lot of time and money doing it that way. So I did that, and then it's about 4:40 p.m. right now. I'm going to finish up one more thing at work, and then I'm going to cook dinner. I think I'm going to make some taco salad for dinner. And then I have to teach class again, and then I'm going to read some more. I probably have some chores that I want to try to get done as well in there, and possibly work on some homework. But again, just kind of pacing myself. We'll see what I can do when I'm not feeling super well. So that's the check-in. Someone told me that they could see the northern lights in my county last night, and I was already in bed. Nobody thought to call and wake me up and tell me, because seeing the northern lights is on my bucket list. So it is Friday, March 24th, about 9:30 p.m. It's dark. I'm gonna head out and drive down some country roads and see if I can see the northern lights, and I'm taking my camera with me, maybe get some pictures of it. I don't know if they'll be out tonight, but chances are good. If they're not out tonight, I'm going to try again tomorrow, because it's supposed to be a good time for northern lights tomorrow as well. So, fingers crossed. I'm not getting my hopes up, because I don't want to feel the bitter disappointment of not seeing them, because this is like a bucket list thing for me. But give it a try, see what happens. And hopefully I'll have a reading update for you soon. Good morning. Good morning, Pip Pip. Hello, it is March 26th and there's a snowstorm outside. Gotta love the Midwest. I didn't end up seeing any northern lights when I like drove north of town for a while. I didn't see anything at all, so I went back home, and then I checked online, and I guess there wasn't like enough KP, whatever that is, to see them from my area. So I did find an app that would tell me like when there's a possibility to see them in my area, so it wouldn't have been possible that night. So as Joey Tribbiani says, it was a moo point. But fingers crossed at some point I'll be able to see those northern lights. I finished yesterday Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. That was the audiobook that I was listening to, and I gave it 5 stars. Frederick Bachman's character work is just absolutely superb. So this is a story about a bank robbery gone wrong that turns into a hostage situation, and like it's, as it says in the book, it's just a story about idiots. Like the most lovable idiots you'll ever read about. And it just was so good. Like I cried at the end, because the themes of this are just all about how, you know, we're interconnected with each other, and we do have an effect on other people, even if we don't end up seeing what those effects are, and how everybody's just trying to do their best every day. And like, it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. So good. I laughed out loud so many times. I cried at the end. You know, you just really feel for these characters. There's not much in terms of plot, so if you're a very like plot-driven reader, you probably won't like this. But if you are a character-driven reader, which I tend to be very character-driven, then you have to read this book. It's so good. I'm kind of feeling like some sad girl lit fic, and so the next audiobook that I picked up was, or is, When I Ran Away by Alana Bannister. And this is a book that I saw in an Instagram post on Sad Girl Lit Fic. Like this post shared 90 books about women against the void is what they called it, which is just another way of saying Sad Girl Lit Fic. And so many of the books on there like I had read and loved. So like they had listed like The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors, Mother Thing by Ainsley Hogarth, like just all these books that I absolutely adored. My Dark Vanessa, right? So just right up my alley, the kind of contemporary lit fic that I'm really into these days. And this book, When I Ran Away, came up on that list. So like I'm not even really going to see what it's about. It's on this list of other books that I'm obsessed with, so I'm going to read it. But from what I can tell, it has something to do with September 11th and the Twin Towers and that kind of thing. So we'll definitely be sad. So that's what I picked up on audiobook. And then I am like 75% of the way through The Drift by CJ Tudor. And I'm to a point in this book where I have no idea what's going on anymore in the best possible way. Like, I love it when books just kind of put you in this state where you're like, what the heck is happening? I don't even know, but I'm here for it, you know? Like Bunny by Mona Awad had that the whole book was like that, where I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I am really enjoying the ride kind of thing. So, that's kind of where I'm at with the drift. Like, I originally thought that these 3 different settings were on the same timeline, but now I'm not sure. They might not be on the same timeline, and like, I don't know what's happening anymore. So I'm really curious to see like how everything's gonna wrap up in this last 25% of the book. Hopefully I will finish it tonight, so then by the end of this vlog I will have read 3 books. My goal is always to read 3 books in a vlog. So I will have read, well, actually 4, because I read and I talked about Spare by Prince Harry, and then Anxious People by Frederick Bach. No, that'd be 3. Math is hard for me. So Spare by Prince Harry, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and The Drift by C.J. Tudor would be the 3 books for this vlog. So fingers crossed, I will really push myself to finish it here today and be able to update you tomorrow. In the meantime, I've got to go shovel horse poop in the middle of this snowstorm, so that'll be fun and exciting. Not. Ellie Bell. Hi, handsome. You're so beautiful. You got little Pips up there with you. Hi, Pippi. Are you hanging out with Uncle L? He's a pretty nice guy, huh? Yeah. Cuties. Hello, lovebirds. It is Monday the 27th. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog here. Last night I finished The Drift by C.J. Tudor, and I liked it. Everything did come together in the end, and it made sense in the end. I will say that I was hoping for a slightly bigger like aha moment or slightly bigger twist at the end, or just something that was a little bit more grand in scale. This felt very granular in terms of like what the twist was and how things wrapped up, and I wanted it to be something like whoa, like boom, like the whole world feels different kind of a twist. I didn't quite get that, but I mean, it was logical. It made sense, I feel like, and overall I enjoyed the read. It was really interesting watching everything come together, and like the tension of being like stuck in these scenarios was pretty intense for me, because I am, you know, slightly terrified of that myself. So overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time, and if you like snowy isolated settings, you might enjoy this. I can see why some people don't enjoy it. I can see why there's like mixed reviews on it. But yeah, I mean, I think it was good. It was fine. I think it's going to be, I don't know, it's like in the 3.5 range for me for a star rating, because the premise of it is so good. Like the different settings and the ways that they're trapped in these spaces. And the character work was okay. Not like outstanding, but it was okay. And it had some quotable moments in there. And yeah, I mean, overall it was really good. I feel like the ending just lacked something for me. So not quite a 4-star, you know, kind of in that range in terms of a rating. I did highlight some quotes, and I'll read some to you that aren't spoilers, just to see if the writing style would work for you. On page 9, it says, in extreme situations, feeling like you are doing something makes a difference psychologically, even if it has no effect on the outcome. Page 82, The thing about being the unpopular girl nobody notices is you notice a lot. Page 135, the deeper the wounds, the darker the humor. There's always a moment in a crisis where a divide happens. Any group of people, however small, will begin to form alliances and to display enmity. Discord will grow. Minor to start with, but then there will come a crux point. At the start, there is simply relief at being alive. Worry about the situation follows. Still, at that point, most people are united in a common goal, survival. But the longer the crisis, the more survival turns inward. We becomes I. As that happens, resentment and arguments occur. Those are just some overall quotes to see if, the writing style is for you. There's quite a few quotable moments in that, and I did highlight quite a lot. I can't show you everything because some of it is spoilers, but will I read this book again? I don't know if I'll read this book again. I'll read more from this author though. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the vlog here. Thanks for joining me for another week of reading. In this vlog, we got through Spare by Prince Harry, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and The Drift by C.J. Tudor. All pretty good reads. And let me know down below if you've read them and what your thoughts are. If you just want to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave me a snowflake emoji for The Drift. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.